Hola mi gente, ¿cómo están? Aquí Alba Mar, me pueden decir Alba. Estoy aquí para hablar de libros y algunos en español desde Puerto Rico. Good afternoon, how is everybody? My name is Alba Mar, you may call me Alba, the channel name is Seriela, and we're here to talk about books. And today is going to be a quickie because it's inspired by Joe over at Retired Book Nerd's channel, which I will link below, and Olive at abookolive's episode on TBRs. And this discussion about TBRs really caught my attention because as a relatively new booktuber, I just started last December, I've been wondering about TBRs. And the last thing that I did, and I just want to share that with you quickly, is that I was watching Katie at Books and Things, and she showed a sheet that she does, that she has that she has made for herself and her reading goals for the year. And I thought that was a good idea. But of course, I adapted it to my interests and my needs, and I'll put it up here if I can. But as I was thinking about Joe's video, I identify very much with her and with Olive's discussion on TBRs. I was fascinated by the fact that for me, TBRs, to be read lists, can be very flexible, but at the same time give me a lot of focus. And that is exactly why I love Booktube. Because since coming to Booktube, I've been fascinated by a lot of books that I would love to mood read on a whim, and which I have mood read on a whim. But at the same time, you all know, the ones who follow me, that I do follow a TBR that's based on the calendar events in Puerto Rican history that I want to learn about. So it's like a balance. It's like, for me, reaching a balance between a list that I would love to follow, that I aim to follow, and a suggestion, a flexible guide to what I could be reading at a certain point. Now, I got a chuckle from listening to Jo say that she has a love-hate relationship with her TBR, because I identify completely. I do. There have been times where I felt constrained, where I felt anxious and stressed with my own TBRs. Doesn't have anything to do with like buddy reads or anything else, or the read-alongs, because or the readathons, because if I felt that way about read-alongs and readathons, I would not participate. Basically, as you can see from the sheet that I put up on my refrigerator, my nonfiction Puerto Rican reading has basically stayed on track. Where I've fallen a little bit behind is on Puerto Rican fiction. Why? Because on a whim, I am very tempted by a lot of the books that show up on Booktube. For example, The Natural Way of Things. I had to do The Pride and Prejudice because I had the book and I wanted to read it, and I've had wanted to read it for a long time. And books like that that I pick up just on a whim. Pretty Brown-Eyed Reader talked about The Truth About Aaron, and I immediately sought that book out and took it out from the library. Things like that. So I understand not wanting to be confined by a TBR, but I do find that for me, that point that Katie brought out about leaving it on the refrigerator door so that I could see it every day keeps me on track. And I put down some categories at the time after watching Katie's video that I, just came to me as a brain dump, right? Just ideas flowing in my head of what my goals, my reading goals could be during the year. Not a set number, but interests, things that interest me. And as I walk past that list every day, I can see how those goals might be tweaked for next year. Because, there are things that are superfluous, things that are repeated. I can recategorize them. But I really like having that focus and having that structure of a TBR for me, especially since I feel, and those who follow me know, that for me, reading Puerto Rican authors and books is very important. At the same time, I'm learning so much on the Spanish-speaking channels. There are Latin American classics in the Latin American canon and the Spanish canon that I really want to get to. You'll notice that Don Quixote has been suspended, but it's still a goal. And for this year, I want to read about the Caribbean. I want to do more reading on feminists. I want to continue. I want to continue participating in read-alongs and readathons. Definitely, I find them very engaging and stimulating and very rewarding. I want to continue doing buddy reads, and I know that TBR, my refrigerator TBR, is going to be tweaked, going to be changing, will be flexible. Another comment that I read on one of the ladies' videos was Alan Moreton, who says he has a rolling TBR. Yeah, I think I have a rolling TBR also. And but I think Alan accomplishes his more than I do. I'm going to finish here with a quote that I also read on one of the comments. I think it was in Joe's video. Somebody whose name is Lethal Lime. Don't you love that name? Lethal Lime says, plans are made to be adapted. Isn't that great? Plans are made to be adapted. So yeah, I'll be adapting my refrigerator TBR very soon. And I just want to thank Olive. I want to thank Joe. I want to thank Katie. I want to thank Alan. I want to thank Lethal Lime. And I want to thank Booktube for making my TBRs more focused and challenging. Have a nice day, people. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Adiós. Cuídense mucho.